Hello, investors and traders, and welcome to the Midweek Report. I'm AJ Monte, Chief Technical Analyst with StickyTrades. And before I get into the charts today, I'd like to make a quick announcement that today, July 12th, from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing my rapid fire stock analysis webinar, and this will be open to the public for the next 2 weeks for free as we get ready for the big reveal in our website. So go to my Twitter page, and I'll also post it in the description box below the login information for the Zoom webinar. Again, it's from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern. It will be recorded, and I will also post that recording link to Twitter. So let's take a look at the charts right here, starting with the diamonds. If you caught my weekly market report on Friday, you'll know that I forecasted that the Dow would go up. Now, we hit the upside target upon filling this gap. See that gap right there? We hit the upside target, which was the gap fill. We hit that yesterday, and then we went a little bit further. Now, interestingly enough, on the way up to hit this resistance area at the top, we have gapped up. So now that downside gap, it's a very slight one, that downside gap will act as a price magnet. So for the rest of the week, I do believe that the Dow is going to pull back just a little bit. In fact, what I'll do is I'll actually draw that line. So on Friday, I'll show our viewers how that worked out. So I'm going to draw that to the downside. Oh, very slightly right there. Downside target by Friday on the Dow is 341.84. And again, that's the diamonds, the Dow Jones Industrial Average ETF. Now, if I go into IWM, take a look at that chart, you'll see that another one has formed, a gap, that is. Now, we gapped up pretty significantly today, and then throughout the day, if you look at the intraday minute-by-minute chart, we continue to roll over right up until the close. So I think the pressure is going to be on for IWM as well towards the end of the week. So I'm not going to draw any lines because I still have that downside target that is yet to be hit on IWM. But I would expect a pullback, especially from this resistance high back here that we saw in February. Now, if we go to the Qs, going in alphabetical order here, you'll see that another gap up, and we have that right at a key resistance area, as I highlight right there, and my downside target is still in place. I'm not moving that. We have an overbought condition on the CCI, but interestingly enough, we have a negative divergence on the stochastic. Again, I repeat over and over what that is. We have a higher price high, but look at the high on the stochastic. It's a lower high. That is a bearish signal that I pay very close attention to. And between that and the gap below the market, I think the Qs are also going to pull back to fill that gap and maybe move back to that moving average, which is 367.74. Now, this one is just until Friday. If we hit that, obviously, we're on our way to testing that support down below. Moving on to the spiders, ticker symbol SPY. This is the S&P 500 ETF. Same story, gap up on slightly higher volume, but I think that downside target for the Friday session is going to be down to that gap fill right there. So downside target, again, short term, very short term for Friday. I'm looking at, let me get that data box to pop up there. I'm looking at a price target right there at 442.49. Again, a negative divergence on that CCI down there. See a higher price high, but we have a lower high right here on that CCI. So that's for the spiders. Now moving on to the VIX. As I mentioned last week, I gave a guarantee on the gaps below the market filling, and that's exactly what has happened. We had this gap today has filled perfectly. Notice my longer term forecast lines for the VIX is that we come back to fill that gap. Now I do believe we're going to start to launch. Now, because of this cross below the momentum line right there, we might see a little bit of downside action on the opening tomorrow with the VIX, but I would not be surprised at all to see a bullish hammer perhaps, or maybe a bullish harami it's hard to say. We can't really predict the VIX that short term, but I would not be surprised at all because we're already at the low support levels after that gap fill point. Now, for you silver lovers out there, I've been doing this pretty regularly, throwing out silver. I did mention that I would be selling 5% of my position on this gap fill. We've hit my upside target on SLV, which was back here at 2147. So today I did sell 5% of my position at that gap fill point because we gapped up today. Yes, pretty high volume. However, there's a resistance area up here, and there's also another gap that's open above 23. That's why I only sold 5% of my position, because if it goes up to fill this gap, I will sell another 10% of the position, which will take me out of my concentrated position of 15%. I'll still be holding on to that long side, but again, for those of you that follow along, I parlay this. So if we get a pullback from here and it fills the gap on the downside, guess what I'm going to be doing with the cash that I generated here today? I'm going to go buy back at a lower price, and I get to buy more shares. If it goes up, sell 10%, then comes back down, I'll still have more cash to go buy more of SLV. So that is my notification of what I'm doing with SLV. Now, before I go, I just want to make a very brief announcement that we are so happy about all the enthusiasm and positive comments that we're getting from followers from all over, from other publishers and other countries up in Canada especially. We are being inundated with emails. Make sure you stay in touch with me through the social media pages, through my Twitter page. I'm giving you links, I'm giving you emails that you can contact us through. If you go and put AJMembers at StickyTrade.com, you'll get directly to me. If you go to TMGTradeAlert at gmail.com, you'll get directly to me. If you make comments on this video, I will be answering questions on this video. I'll be answering questions on Twitter. I've been very busy lately, but that is all good because I enjoy helping you and guiding you to the next best place that we're going. And you will not be disappointed, not one bit. So stay in touch, and we'll talk to you later. So long.